Hello. Going live in a couple of seconds. This is just going to be one of those impromptu, super fun for me. For me, I don't know so much about the audience, but I'm going to enjoy this a lot. And I'm going to be doing basically a redesign of a corporate website. And thank God it's Friday. Yeah, so we're going to be doing a redesign of a corporate website. That's the theme of the show. And the name, DesignOver, was actually given by Sanj. He's also a really kick-ass designer. He gave the name on the previous live stream. So, yeah. Okay, so I have this view, I have this view, I have this view ready, and then I have this view. Okay. Just kicking gear in a couple of seconds. And what do I have here? Yeah, so go back to, yeah. That's what's up. That's what we're going to be doing for the next 1 hour or so. And the intention behind the show is actually to challenge myself to get into the trenches and design something live. And okay. All right. Let's dive right into it. Okay, so by the way, if you're watching and if you want to do comments and you want to chat with me, you're gonna have to jump on paulsing.live. If you literally go to that website, paulsing.live, you'll hit the YouTube page, and then it becomes very easy for you to chat with me if that's what you wanted to do. Okay. Just making sure this is okay. Yeah. And then, okay. Cool. So the website in question is going to be this one. And by the way, data communications management, they're not paying me to do this at all. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to use them as a case study for this redesign. Reason being is because I have worked at data communications management. This was probably my first contract job when I moved to Canada. And so I have some understanding of having worked there, of what that company was like. But of course, it's been a long time. It's been more than 8 years since I was there. And the company has dramatically changed. But the goal is that I thought that, for the first corporate redesign, show title, this is the fancy show title. Yeah, so to do this rebrand, I thought that the first one, a nice fun contender to work on would be DCM, because I'm a little bit aware of this company. I have done, so I don't have to, kind of start totally from scratch. But you're going to see throughout this series, including this episode specifically, what are the motions, a designer would go through when working on a redesign. Now, this would include, what we'll do is actually we'll include a whole bunch of things. So for example, in this redesign, I'm going to want to explore what would the process actually look like? How would I go about redesigning a corporate website. So the first phase we'll do is, so we'll say, okay, let's just say phases. So in the first one, let's use a fun color. So in the first phase, one, we'll do discovery. And that's what we're going to focus on today. We're going to look at, we're going to, for example, look behind the scenes of data. Actually, that's what the old name was, data. We're going to read like annual reports. We're going to see what the CEO is saying. We're going to just look at, from a strategy perspective, where this business is today, what they're trying to do, that, and then hopefully also look at the competitive landscape. Okay. What people similar to them are also doing. And then also, we'll also do a benchmark study. And then also look at cross category for some inspiration. And I'll explain all of these as we go along on this step. But I guess for today, we'll just focus on these. And then, of course, there's going to be like, we'll have, when the time comes, we'll get into like, what would phase 2 look like? And you're like, okay, 2, we're going to start synthesis of stuff. But for now, let's just focus on the discovery part of this exercise. And this is probably the most fun part because, I love snooping around, reading stuff. And then I'm basically going with the, or let's say the subtext or the assumption that we're going with is that the client has briefed us. I have spoken to the CEO. By the way, none of this has happened, but the assumption that I'm going to go with is that, okay, so the CEO has just briefed me and said, okay, Paul, we want you to take over and redesign our site and guide us, help us get this off the road. And then I just realized the ASMR music that I'm playing in the background. Okay. Funny. Okay, so I'm going with the assumption that the ASMR music is a little bit distracting. I'm going to fix that in a second. Perfect. No more distraction on the back end from music. But yeah, so the thinking here is that, let's say, in a live situation, if I'm speaking to the CEO and I'm speaking to their CMO, I'm speaking to some of the executives and I'm like, and we've arrived at this point in the conversation, in the journey, we're like, okay, we're ready to do a rebrand and we want to revisit the website experience. We also want to look at brand design, marketing, and then also potentially we'll get into a little bit of thinking about, how to also do some sort of a lead gen sales aspect right from the front page. We'll get into all of these. So let's start with first is just, what's the first step that I would do? The first step I would do is just open up the website. And of course, in this case, because this is actually not a real client and I'm just sort of doing spec work, is I am not talking to the internal stakeholders. I'm not having those conversations. So I'm going to have to make the best of what I can find. So typically the first thing I like to do is just do like a screen grab of the home page. And I have like an extension that in Google Chrome that lets me do that. So if I go to, let's pull up this page here. So if I go to, I open up the website. This is the first one that I'm designing. I'm going to pull up there's a tool that I have, like a plugin, within Google Chrome that allows me to pretty much copy the entire website. So let's see here. It is called, I know what it's called. It's called Screen Recorder, but where did it go? Export, Scener. Oh, here it is. So that's the one. So I'm just, there we go. So now what this is going to do is just going to copy over the entire website. And then I can be like, okay, download this image, allow. And I'm going to save it in the right spot where I want it. And then here I can just go file, import, and I can have it under Sing TV actually. So there's that screen grab. Open. Okay, so we have the first. This is just like super vanilla, and this is, we're not even getting into all like the details of anything yet, but this is like typically just first steps that I would want to take. Okay, next step over. Oh wow. Okay, so one thing we can change here is increase the size a little bit. Okay, cool. And this just gives us a footprint of like what the current state is. And we'll get into all this in a second. And then let's go back. Okay, so now as part of any exercise like this, the first set of activities, as I described here, are we're going to do, let's look at their investor section. Let's look at where they're at from a business standpoint. Okay, so let's go back and look at investors. And while that opens, okay, so see past earnings. By the way, I do know a couple of things. For example, that from the time that I was with them, the CEO was Mike Sifton, and then they, at the time when I was there, I think they also had what's his name? Greg join as a president, and I don't know what the case is now, but we're going to find out. That's the whole point of this exercise. So, okay. And then also, what we can also do is like here, let's open up another thing here called ChatGPT. And here, I'll also take you guys behind the scenes of how I can even, simplify my work. ChatGPT. Okay. So okay. So for example, let's say on this page, when I'm looking at the investor section and I want to read their annual report and I want to go through all the details. And what I always like to do is have like something like a Google or ChatGPT. I mean, since we do have ChatGPT, I have the paid version. I like to always have that open on the side, because if there's any terminology or things that I don't understand about if I don't understand about a specific business, I can just look it up. And then that's also an opportunity for me to learn something new, which I'm always very curious about. Okay, so let's actually go back. And I know there's a whole bunch of stuff happening here, but so first, of course, it is a publicly traded company. Data Communications Management Corp. So that's actually the shorthand for this acronym DCM. And when I was there, it was just called Data. And at the time before I left, that's when basically that transition period was happening. But yeah, let's take a quick look at this. Data Communications Management Corp. 5 days. And actually, if I go to 10 years. Holy, what the? Okay, so at some point, 2014, 12, 2011, 2010. It was at 956. Okay, hold on. I'm going into the weeds of this, but hold on. So let's go back here and let's first actually look at the annual report. That's the first thing I would want to see. So let's go into our company, infographics and presentations. Yeah, let's go into that. This is the most fun part of any exercise that I do, is just snooping around, reading stuff. And this just helps you kind of get a better understanding of what the people that are working there, where their head is at, what they're thinking about, what are they dreaming about. So we've got, okay, so let's see, doesn't say, analyst coverage reports. Okay. So there's also like these, typically, people like to listen to those investor calls. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff we can do, but the first thing that I want to do is look at the investor presentation. Okay. They also have okay, so I think I'm just curious what this investor presentation is. So let's open up that PDF file. Oh, I remember this so well now. Great. Okay, so I'm just going to have to sign in. Adobe just, all of these factor authentications and all that stuff. Okay, hold on. Let me just try and okay, 1 second. I gotta frickin' allow Adobe access to my. Okay, approve. Come on now. Let's go. All right. Fantastic. So if I go back here. All right. So forward-looking statements. Yeah, got it. Yeah, that's the logo that I'm familiar with. The DCM, the brand. Okay. Well, and then I do remember the days of who was DCM and why invest. 64 years. Okay. So what are they trying to say? The new DCM poised for growth investor presentation. TCX, okay, cool. And then you have your print first, digital first. Okay. Who is DCM and why invest? Okay, print first to digital first. Yeah, so the place that I used to work at was the Torbram office, and it was a massive printing facility. And then print was just declining like crazy. So then they, of course, and we're going to find out all these details as we go on this journey. Business process outsourcing, marketing solutions, print on demand. Yeah. So one of the things that they were kind of doing is like, we'll just take care of your end to end from data, printing, all that stuff. I'll get into all those details in a second. Deeply entrenched client relationships. Yeah. Okay. So like one example is like, let's say, those physical mails that you get from your bank, somebody has to print them. The bank doesn't do it themselves. They outsource it to companies like these to print it, go into that database, print all those documents like your credit card summaries, statements, bank statements, offers, all that stuff. It gets handled by companies like this. Okay. And then even like, let's say Loblaws is sending you like a flyer or a leaflet or even like a very specific offer to their customers. So these companies can have the scale and the width to handle something like that. Okay, so that's what they're saying. And then digital asset management, tech-enabled service. Okay. And industry. Actually, let's zoom into this a little bit. so you can see also what I'm reading. There we go. So they're talking about revenue is 778. Okay, total revenue is 178 million. The revenue from all of these by bringing these solutions together like an integrated solution. Yeah, got it. And then okay, that's where it's going. And then it's funny because I've been working on investor decks for the last couple of months. So this is fun to see it done in this way. Okay. So then there's also like if I go back to the site, so there's also like this client portal. I wonder what that looks like on the inside. I don't have access to it, but let's keep going back. Winning 70% of RFPs due to technology. Oh, I'm so curious about what that looks like. Top 5 recent wins. Okay. Okay. They do have, I mean, this has been around for so long, 64 years, right? That's what it said here, 64 years. And then this report is March 2022. So this is 2 years old. Okay. Then, okay. Yeah, so basically this is one service area that they want to grow, and they're showing the potential of that. Yep, cool, okay. Moving from first to digital first. Okay. So for example, let's say, there's a term on any of these pages that I don't understand. So let's just pick one. I don't know. What can we pick here? Okay. So maybe let's say, okay, I don't know what this term here means, right? So as a designer, when you're kind of going through some of these materials, it's okay, if you don't have to know everything. And it's like, okay, what does this CAGR thing plus mean? So you just go ChatGPT. I'll say, explain what this term means. Okay. And I'll just paste it in here. Boom. And compound annual growth rate. There we go. Now we know what CAGR means, right? Okay. And what's the reading here? The term compound annual growth sector, which is the case indicated to be blah, 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 is useful metric to understand the means and annual growth rate of an investment over a specified time period longer than the 1 year. It represents one of the most accurate ways to calculate and determine returns for anything that can rise or fall in value over time. Compound annual growth rate. That's what that is. Is there anything else here important to read? It's an indication of the sector's performance and health over time, allowing investors, analysts, and policymakers to assess its growth prospect and stability. Yeah, this is an investor deck, so obviously, let's keep going. Okay, that was just a quick. I just wanted to show that there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that I don't understand when I'm looking at certain things, and I'll just quickly drop it into ChatGPT. Okay, so let's keep going. DCM fluxes. Okay. So they are talking about a digital platform, and that's basically this is, I think that is what that login is for. So if I go to the website, it's DCM Flex, right? That's that platform that they're talking about here. That's on the website under client login. Okay. And then basically just, kind of streamlines it, so you probably have like those marketing people at like Loblaws or bank or whatever. They can log in and see their whole thing. I've never logged in, so I don't know what it looks like on the inside. Maybe there's some screens that come up. Okay. Total revenue digitally enabled. Yeah. I think there's also like this pressure, that especially for a company that does only print, in order to show growth and scale, you have to show some sort of technology or something digital. So there is that. And that's kind of the fabric of this whole deck here. But okay. Moving from print first to digital first. So you're showing some revenue numbers. Digital asset management, tech-enabled service. Okay. Decent leading market with 92 employees, serving 250 corporate customers. 250 corporate customers. Cool. The digital asset market. So this is like TAM, SOM kind of stuff. Total addressable market. And then during the period. Okay. Yeah, okay. Tier 2 digital asset market, okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. I only wish there was a legend to explain what these gray matrix boxes are in the back, what they mean. This is just a, sorry, I just talking to, this is like a weird visual. Providing operating leverage. Okay. Yeah, okay. So of course, this slide and this, they're talking about, a lot of the companies, the complete dynamics completely changed during the pandemic. And it's almost like you're paying off debt, okay, paying off debt. Cool. 2002. Okay, repayment of debt. Okay. Okay. So for example, even here, let's say I have no idea what this FPD3, FPD4, FPD5 means, right? So I can just go FPD. I can go, okay, what is FPD in banking terms? First payment default. This term is used to describe a situation where a borrower fails to make the first scheduled payment on a loan. Or first payment defaults are significant because they are often considered indicators of future non-performance on a loan. Okay. Yeah, totally out of my wheelhouse. Not my area of expertise on this, but let's keep going. Again, I'm not trying to be a CFO over here. The goal is just to kind of understand high level, what are they focused on? Common shares. Okay, options, warrants. Wait, is that the correct number? What is the market cap now? Okay. Okay. Wait. So since 2015, the share price has been like static. Okay, anyways, go back to this. Value creation. Okay, got it. Right. Okay. So, like let's say the vanilla version of this is that, a print company will have like an like a multiple of whatever. And then as you add technology and digital and all that stuff, that gives you a different multiple. And they're probably like a whole bunch of industry standards on that. So that's kind of what they're talking about here. Okay, cool. Yep. Like for example, a SaaS company, industry has a specific multiple, and that's kind of what they're going at here. Revenue margin. Okay, why invest? Okay. All right. The brand. For more information, please visit James Lorimer, Chief. Comparable companies analysis. Oh. So what do we have here? We have. Okay. So they're saying how their numbers compare to market leaders, maybe? Because you have Adobe at the top here. These numbers are in millions, or where's the legend? This design is just horrible, but 469. Okay. Averages. Okay, they're just kind of showing how they got to those calculations of 7.2x, which is right here. How did they arrive at the 7.2x? It's based on the industry average. Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, we didn't pull these numbers out of our ass. We did some research on this. Okay, cool. Got it. And then let's see, 2020 fiscal shareholder presentation. This is also kind of old, 2022, but let's just have a quick peek at it. Forward-looking statements. Yes, disclaimer, got it. Today's objectives. Q4 revenue up 73 million versus Q4 21. Okay, upward trend. Cool. 2021. Okay, comparing it to last year. Net income. So EBITDA, for example, is earnings before interest, taxes, deductions, amortization. I think something like that. Debt or something. I forgot that D. And then, okay. Fourth quarter, year-end bigger business. Year-end better plus bigger business. Okay, is that like a new line or what is that? Okay, headcount reduction and productivity improvements. Okay, so 2000. Oh, right. So there's another thing. Yeah, that's the revenue per employee. So like probably like Google's revenue per employee is like, let's ask ChatGPT, what is Google's revenue per employee? It's probably like crazy. That's why they can pay all those salaries, right? So that's why in the tech industry you get much higher salaries. Revenue per employee for Google is 1.6, almost 1.7 million. Damn. Okay. And then here, so I think I was around at DCM, I think 2015, 16, something like that. And that's when they were like 1,400 employees, and now they're at 910. So again, that's just for investors showing, this also adds like to their burn rate, blah, blah. How much they spend to get that much profit. Okay. Voice of the Customer 2020 survey. Meaningful, responsive, predictable, forward-thinking, dependable. Yeah, I mean, this could have been done a much better job of demonstrating what these mean, because they seem kind of, I'm guessing somebody's probably like talking over these, but Gallup poll, overall percentile. Okay, new business wins. Okay, so just like, and this is an interesting part, that just like a consulting practice, they also go across industries. So that totally makes sense. And then ESG structure, cool. I'm gonna pass that completely. Solution portfolio. So, oh, so I'm guessing like this assemble thing sits at the heart of everything. You've got marketing campaign, omnichannel, personalized video. Okay. So they're coming up with all these automations and solutions for scale and management. So this is actually an interesting slide. Actually, I'm going to copy just this one, solution portfolio. It just kind of helps anchor what are the different things that they're trying to do. And I'm going to just pull this into here, into where I have the screenshot. We'll come back to this in a second. I know where I'm going to be using this, but okay, let's go back. Yep, trying to return debt, bigger business, some 2020 revenue, 2,000 million, 38 versus prior year. Okay. One more thing, just gonna quickly check here. Okay. Sorry, just taking a quick. Yeah, typically the research phase takes a while, depending on how big the team is and who owns what and who's kind of doing. And since the bigger the company, there's a lot more that needs to be researched, synthesized, put together. Okay. Sorry, just checking my message here. Okay. All right. Cool. That works. Okay, so let's keep going. All right, physical results, revenue 273 million. And then 2022 financial results, fiscal year end, and then fiscal year end in millions. Okay. Revenue, better, worse. Okay. Restructuring. Yep, that's what they're totally changing their model. Better together. That's a one that I've seen before. DCM, RRD Canada. I don't even know all this. We'll find out. Transaction highlight. Okay, wait. Just want to check here. So revenue 2020. Okay. By 9. Okay. So RRD Canada. Probably another acquisition. So, transaction. Yep. So let's definitive share purchase agreement to acquire the Canadian operations RRD Canada, Donnelly and Sons Company. Total purchase price subject to working capital and other customary post-closing adjustments. Okay. All right. So as part of the whole, like, moving from just a print company to, all this automation, digital technology, and giving customers a platform to manage. So they're kind of acquiring all the objective leverage. Okay, cool. Our year 2 journey, better, bigger business, momentum. Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't need to read the rest. Okay, so they acquired another company called our Donnelly thing company, and we already looked at this, and then I've looked at that. Okay, what else is there that I can take a peek at? So one other thing I would want to do is, let's just go to About Us. What are they saying about themselves? Actually, let's start quickly from the homepage, and let's just do a quick. Nope, don't want to go into investor. I just want to see the homepage. We haven't even assessed the homepage yet. So what are they saying? Firstly, all the design is kind of but that's kind of why we're here. But let's we make marketing and communication workflows work better. That doesn't say much at all, actually. It seems so vague. It seems like any other SaaS company. You could literally open up like 10 SaaS companies that do marketing automation, including HubSpot, that could claim this. So this is not necessarily something that is ownable, but no problem. Okay. And then this girl, this stock image of this girl, this is probably the most abused image of, which is probably in every single PowerPoint presentation across North America. So, okay, no worries. I guess, there's a transition phase, and companies go through these different phases. And in fact, there's another really cool tool called Wayback Machine. Wayback Machine. I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but if you go to Wayback Machine and we plug in the name of this company. So let's say I go back home, go to their homepage, and it'll capture what it looked like. So if I go here and I put in that and I go, okay, browse history. And this is just a good way to quickly check how they've evolved in terms of what they've been communicating externally. And then the website is just a manifestation of that. So let's say if I go back to 2016, that's roughly the period when I was there. And let's go to June 28th, for example. So we have a snapshot at 3:10. Let's check that out. What did that look like? So curious. And oh yeah, I remember this. I remember this so well. Yes, minding your T's and T's, Bruce. I think I also know who created this lead magnet, minding your T's and T's. I think I remember. I'm not going to take any names. I'm only going to talk about things that are publicly in the public domain. I'm not going to talk about anything that was in the private domain. Oh, I do remember this. Yeah. So we can see that the execution engine, again, going from being that execution engine to now claiming that we want to be those automation workflows and work better. But yeah, they've come a long way. I do remember this office also. Not this one. I don't know which one they're showing here, but I was at the Torbram office. But yeah, okay, so marketing, operations, financial service. Again, serving all these different industries, but capabilities were largely printing. Yeah, I wonder if this industry solutions, marketing and operations, right? So pretty basic in 2016, but now moving into like this technology. And as we saw in the investor deck, what they're trying to position themselves as. Where did that go? Yeah. So, they're saying no longer just a printing company, but this whole DCM Flex. Actually, this is where that solution slide, which I just copied over, makes a lot of sense, which is this. So instead of saying just printing, they're now saying, oh, we'll do all of these things. Yeah. Because that old business was kind of dying out anyways. Okay, so let's go back. And let's go back. All right, so this is the Wayback Machine. This is kind of what it looked like when I was working there. And this is where they are today. And they also did acquire, not only did they acquire that Donnelly company, but they also acquired this marketing company called Perennial. They went through a whole bunch of leadership changes. Let's see who the leaders are right now at the leadership. Let's see who the leadership is right now at the company. Okay. I do remember interacting with one or two of these people, but all of these faces look totally new. Richard Kellum, President, Chief. Okay, let me open up LinkedIn here for a second. Okay. Richard Kellman. That's the president and CEO. Oh, okay. And let's see where this is at. So let's put in Richard Kellman. Okay. Yeah, so he is the president after 35 years. I think he's from I don't know why. No, he's not from Perennial. VP Molson Canada. Wait a second. So he started out as a brand manager. Then was at Wrigley's. Oh wow, cool. Then VP of marketing. Market director, senior VP global sales, chief executive officer, Advantage Group International, then president for the last 3 years. Okay. And if we go, let's just read this. After 35 years working in large multinational businesses and having lived in 8 different countries. Okay. Who's the next guy over? James. I do remember interacting with James once or twice back when I was there. Never met Steve Livingston, Patrick, never met him. Sharad Verma, Sharad, Jason. None of these other faces I recognize or have met. Okay, who else do we have? Board of directors. Okay, who's in the board of directors? Let's see here. I think there's a big challenge in terms of like brand architecture, what's being communicated. It just doesn't seem simple for Okay, so it's Kingsley, Ward, Greg Cochran. So I do remember when Greg Cochran had just started at DCM. Then you've got, I don't know any of the, oh, I do remember recording one of the internal communications with Mike Sifton. He's a really nice guy, really, really nice person. And he would just sit there in the cafeteria eating lunch with all the employees. He was not at all highbrow or anything. He was a very simple, really nice person. Everybody would talk very highly of Mike Sefton. Okay, so committee composition, chair, member. Okay, cool. All these other faces I don't recognize. I only remember Greg, Mike, and James. Everybody else is management team. Yeah, this is the one we were just looking at. Corporate governance documents. Okay, I don't care about that right now. Not create a better world for tomorrow. By the way, this guy looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the middle, but okay. Inspired to create a better world for tomorrow. What does ESG mean? Okay. Printing, forward chip, habitat for foundation. Okay. Not super relevant at this point in time in my research. Okay. So they do have, okay, let's go to the overview for a quick hot second. Okay, so this is the one that I had seen. I think it'll also be good to just watch one of the videos by the CEO. I wonder if what kind of stuff he's putting on LinkedIn. Let's see here. Okay, that's just a repost. Okay, a big thanks to entire okay, so actually what I can do is, let me see if I can bring the audio into the stream and we can play this video. Let's play this. A big thanks to DCM team for delivering an outstanding quarter. Let's just listen to this. Oh, I'm not getting any audio.
I'll recap our performance and provide an update on our merger integration. Starting with our merger, I'm very pleased with the progress.
Okay, let's see if the audio is coming through. Okay, the audio is not coming through. Is there a way for me to share the audio with you folks? Let's see. Is there? Okay. Oh, maybe that worked. Let's see. Oh no, no audio is coming through. But it's been fun to watch this together. But just the way I'm sort of sharing this screen using NDI, I think I'm gonna have to watch this on my own. So let me go back here. Okay. And let's see if that works. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, no worries. That's another thing I gotta fix, is how to bring audio from.
Very pleased with the progress we've made in the first 6 months since completing the acquisition of Moore Canada Corporation, or MCC.
Okay, hold on. Let's watch this from the beginning.
We just released our Q3 results, and in this video, I'll recap our performance and provide an update on our merger integration. Starting with our merger, I'm very pleased with the progress we've made in the first 6 months since completing the acquisition of Moore Canada Corporation, or MCC. This acquisition essentially doubled the size of our business from day one and gave us exciting opportunities to drive growth and value creation. We prioritize getting off to a fast start with our integration, and we are tracking ahead of our plan in our 4 focus areas: operations, organization, procurement, and revenue. In operations, we have announced plans to reduce our plant network facilities over the next 2 years to be more efficient and focused. The integration of our two organizations is largely complete. Our new leadership and teams are in place, and we have simplified the structure of our teams. Our procurement team is making great progress, centralizing purchasing and leveraging our expanded scale to deliver anticipated savings. On the revenue front, our combined commercial teams are focused on expanding services with existing clients and winning new business. I'm pleased to report these efforts are gaining traction, and we now anticipate annualized synergies of $30 to $35 million over the next 18 to 24 months, above our previous range of $25 to $30 million. In summary, our integration is off to a terrific start. Turning to our Q3 results, our performance reflects the positive contribution of the MCC business. Some key takeaways from the quarter. Revenue in quarter 3 is up nearly 94% over a year ago to $123 million, marking DCM's 8th sequential quarter of year-over-year top-line growth. Gross profit increased 52% to $30 million, our 5th consecutive quarter of year-over-year growth. Gross margin was 24.7%, in line with our expectations, but lower than DCM's standalone gross margin of 31.4% a year ago. Importantly, we have a clear plan in place to return our combined gross margins to pre-acquisition levels in the plus 30% range. Adjusted EBITDA for the quarter was $11.8 million, up 28% from last year. This was driven by the addition of the MCC business, continuing our focus on gross margins, and controlling our SG&A expenses. Finally, our total debt at quarter end was just under $118 million, down 18.8% since the close of the merger, and net debt to EBITDA now sits roughly around 2 times on a pro forma basis, well on our way to our target of less than 1 times. Thanks to the entire DCM team for your outstanding efforts during the quarter, integrating our two organizations and working together to build a better and a bigger business. I look forward to reporting on our continued progress in future quarters. Thank you.
Cool. Okay. I know that you guys can watch this, but all right, let's close this out. Okay. So they've acquired another company. Interesting. And so this is the Donnelly acquisition. Okay, there's no specific post. It's just in this video. Got it. Cool. If I go back here. So this is the Wayback Machine of like what it used to look like before. And then if I go back into this. Okay. So latest news, view all. Let's take a look at this section now. Sale of its Trenton. Yeah, so that's what he was talking about in that video, that they want to go down from 13 to 10 facilities to be more optimized and proficient. Cool, that makes sense. The third quarter 2020 financial reports. Named 50 top performing companies. Really? So cool. Okay, trees planted, third quarter. Okay. I'm trying to look for the merger of the last. By the way, M&A is probably another really cool area. Private equity, M&A. I'm so illiterate when it comes to those things, but I'm so curious about how those things work. Okay, so I'm not finding the story here. Maybe it is. See, like this one, RR and Donnelly and Son. We have that here. 2023. Where do we have the other one? Okay, maybe. Okay, hold on. Data. Okay, maybe I can just do a quick search here. Data communications management acquisitions. Okay, let's take a look. What do we get? Yeah, no, I don't want to see this. This already have information on. I'm curious, like what all companies they've acquired over time. I know like Perennial was one, R.R. Donnelly's one. Then the Maker one he was talking about is one. So they've and then R.R. Okay, no, that we've already seen. Okay, hold on. Let me go back there for a second. He was talking about this at the beginning of the video. He was saying, oh,
Our merger. I'm very pleased with the update on our merger integration.
okay.
Starting with our merger, I'm very pleased with the progress we've made in the first 6 months since completing
Moore Canada Corporation.
or
That's the
MCC.
one I was looking for.
This acquisition essentially doubled the size of our business.
What did Moore Canada Corporation do? Moore Canada Corporation. We're finding out live. So basically, if I wanted to do any redesign, this is the kind of research I would want to do on any business or company, like whatever I could find. And of course, there's going to be a whole bunch of things that I don't understand, and then there's things that I do understand, and then there's also that bucket of things relevant and things that are not necessarily relevant, because you don't need to factor in every single thing. We don't have to prioritize every single thing. Okay, so what is Moore Canada Corporation overview? A DCM company. Yeah, I know that now, buddy. But what was it before? Okay, R.R. Donnelly's also talking about it. Cool. So, by the way, I think I'm also cool. Oh, so that's what it says on there. Cool. Learn more about us and expertise. Nice. Again, that girl again. Yeah. The most notorious stock photography. Okay, big thanks to DCM. This looks really cool. I'm guessing this is... Nope, that's not the office, but cool. All right, I'm going to go back into this. Not this page, sorry, this one. Okay, so it doesn't mention why they were acquired. Like there is one on Donnelly, but okay, no worries. Let's look at events. What do we have here? Earnings conference call, video transcript, fiscal 2022 acquisition of R&D conference call. So there's that. How long is this video? I'm curious, like. Unlisted. Subscribe to DCM.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our call. We'd like to welcome.
Actually, hold on a second. I think there might be a way for me to... Is now discoverable. Okay, I think I have a way to bring audio into this. So let's see if I connect Bluetooth. Oh no, I need to actually open up settings. Oh God. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna just quickly fix this issue here. Get so I can pump audio into this Bluetooth. There we go. And then Rodecaster connect. Did I connect? Oh yeah, I did. Okay, so if if I just go down this and then I channel the audio. Let's see if there's some sound, and I wanted to go to the Roadcaster Pro. Done. Now if I play this.
All our DCM shareholders, as well as any RRD Canada.
Perfect. That
May
works.
be listening in today.
Okay, so I'm just looking into why they acquired RRD Canada. Again, just to give insights into how they're strategically thinking about the business and where they're headed.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our call. We'd like to welcome all our DCM shareholders, as well as any RRD Canada employees that may be listening in today. Speaking on the call this morning will be Richard Kellum, our President and CEO, and myself, James Lorimer, CFO. We'd like to remind everyone that Richard and I can be available after the call for any follow-up questions that you may have. Before we begin, I'll remind everyone that we will be referring to forward-looking information on today's call. This information is subject to certain risks and uncertainties, as outlined in the forward-looking information disclosure in our press releases that we issued last night, and more fully in our public disclosure filings on SEDAR. We will be adding a brief video from Richard along with a summary of our press releases from last night on our website following the call. And our detailed information will ultimately be published on our website as well. You can also follow us on LinkedIn for some additional color and information on our recent press releases. With that, I'd like to introduce Richard Kellum, our President and CEO.
Thank you, James, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody that's dialing in from another time zone. Here's what we want to accomplish on our call today. First, we want to have a quick look at our preliminary 2022 results. We did a press release last night, so we're going to look hard to those. And then we want to dive a little deeper on the announcement we made last evening of the acquisition of RRD Canada. Talk about some of the transaction highlights, have a quick look at RRD Canada, some of the benefits of the transaction, and then talk about how we're going to be better together. So that's what we want to achieve on the call today. So thank you for joining us. Starting off with DCM full year 2022 preliminary results. You've heard me say this many times. We've got great momentum in our business, and as we like to say, momentum builds momentum, and you're certainly seeing that in our performance. Before I get into the results here and unpack some of the details, I just want to thank the entire DCM team. Without the team that we got here at DCM, there's no way we could be delivering the results we're delivering. So congratulations and thank you to the entire team. We had a very solid year on revenue and revenue acceleration. Our range is between 270 million and 274 million. And that would lead to a 15% to a 16.5% growth versus 2021. So one of the best growth years that we've delivered on record here at DCM. We're very proud of the revenue acceleration and the value we're bringing to clients in the marketplace. Our gross profit also improved despite some of the raw material headwinds we experienced in the marketplace. Our range is between 30.5% to 31%. And that's an improvement in overall gross profit between 20% to 21%. Now, one thing we always like to see is gross profit growing faster than revenue, and you're seeing that there. Revenue 15 to 16.5 and gross profit 20 to 21% growth versus last year. So again, team's done a fantastic job to make sure we're continuing to deliver high value to our clients, and we're recouping that value for the value we bring. Another important metric is SG&A. We talked a lot about delivering a better business, and our range in SG&A is between 21% of revenue to 21.5% of revenue, and that's a full 2.8% to 3.3% percentage points versus last year. So very good momentum, doing more with less and driving productivity, and we're really working hard on our zero overhead growth momentum. So very happy with the team and the results that we're delivering there. So solid revenue, great gross profit, and continue to build a better business on the SG&A side. From an EBITDA perspective, our EBITDA range is between 35.5 million and 36.5 million, and that's a full 41% to 45% increase over 2021. So fantastic results in EBITDA, obviously driven from that solid revenue, that solid gross margin, that improvement in SG&A. Also really happy to report that our debt is down over 35% versus last year, and we delivered on our commitment at the beginning of the year. We said we will have no restructuring expenses, and we delivered on zero restructuring, which obviously means that our net income will be solid. We'll report that in March versus a 9.7 million restructuring charge last year. So all metrics, revenue metrics, margin metrics, operating metrics are very, very positive in 2022 versus where we were a year ago. So we've been focusing on obviously building both a better and a bigger business, and I trust these results show and demonstrate our capabilities to do both at the same time. So we'll give you a lot more details, obviously, on the 21st of March once we get our final audit complete, and we'll give you more details on the final quarter and the year. But those are the preliminary results, and again, we're very proud of the momentum that the entire team is delivering here. Now I want to move to the second point of the agenda, which is the acquisition we announced last night of RRD Canada. So here are some of the transaction highlights. We entered into a definitive agreement for a share purchase of the Canadian operations of RRD Canada. Our total current purchase price is $123 million, and that's obviously subject to working capital and other customary post-closing adjustments. I'll come back to referencing that $123 million in a minute. And RRD Canada, I'll give you a little bit more detail on them in a minute, but they've got total revenues of approximately $250 million in 2022. We expect to close the transaction sometime in Q2 of this year, and this transaction is subject to customary closing conditions and regulatory approvals, including under the Canada's Competition Act. We will be filing with the Competition Bureau today. From a financing perspective, 100% of the financing is fully committed through facilities from a Canadian chartered bank and CRF private debt. So we're funding this with 100% facility. And this is what I want to come back to on that purchase price of $123. Our lending includes a $30 million bridge facility related to 3 owned properties that are being acquired. So part of that $123 million is a $30 million tranche, if you will, for real estate. And we certainly plan to sell and lease back that real estate. In fact, we already have interest in those properties right now. And that will take our leverage from 3.25 down to 2.65 following that intended sale and lease back. So we're very pleased with how we've architected the financing of this deal, and we appreciate the partners, our lending partners here. So a quick look at RRD Canada. They provide print and related services to over 1,000 customers across Canada. They've got very deep roots in Canada. They started off as Moore Business Forums back in 1882. I'll show you a map of RRD's presence in a minute. They serve key verticals from financial institutions, retail, insurance, transportation, government, and other regulated industries. So a lot of diversification in their client base, sort of similar to DCM, the diversification we have. So client base and verticals, and certainly highly complementary to the operating model that we have here at DCM. So what we say is sort of a perfect fit. Some of the benefits of the transaction, it obviously combines 2 companies with complementary operating models and best-in-class products, strong and very strong customer relationships. It's also very complementary to some of the digital-first technology capabilities we've built here at DCM and the opportunity to expand those into RRD's clients. There's many meaningful benefits for our clients and for our customers, being bigger and better together, and obviously attractive financial benefits and value creation opportunities for DCM. Now, a quick look at DCM and RRD Canada together. So as I said earlier, the DCM revenues are just north of $270 million. RRD's about $250 million. So combined revenue as a start from day one will be just north of $520 million in revenue. At DCM, we have 280 enterprise clients. RRD has 250 enterprise clients. And we deliver a lot of value to those enterprise highly complex clients across Canada. At DCM, we've got 11 locations and 10 locations at Donley. And, our business is well north of 900 employees here and about 1,000 employees across. So, lots of opportunities here to be better together over time. And you can see the numbers on the far right hand of the slide, north of $500 million in revenue together, over 400 enterprise clients, just around 21 locations, and just under 2,000 employees. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time for anybody that's looking at the video here, but people on audio, looking at a map of Canada that has the footprint for DCM and for RRD. And you can see that we've got great coverage as a combined entity across Canada to be able to meet those all clients, and including those kind of those high enterprise clients across Canada. So very good footprint to meet the needs of the Canadian marketplace. Now, I want to talk about just for a minute here. What we're really excited about on this deal is the market is still a very sizable market in Canada. There are significant opportunities for future growth, being a combined entity. The marketing and advertising services market in Canada is north of a $68 billion market. The marketing and print media market and marketing technology market is north of a $22 billion market. And if we zoom a little narrower to where to some of the work that we do here at DCM and Donley, that's a $19 billion market in print. Zooming a little further, just the print market alone is around a $10 billion market. So there's a sizable market here in Canada for us to play into, and we're confident that we can do that better together and continue to drive accelerated growth. So some of the rationale for doing the deal is the proven track record that we built here at DCM. You saw the numbers earlier. Our revenue growth between 15 and 16% this year, and we've got very strong business momentum. We've got relentless focus on providing enhanced value to our clients, and our clients have really love working with us, and they see the value that we create for them. We've got strong operational focus at DCM. Our gross margins have improved from the low 20s in 2015. So numbers I showed you today, north of 30% in 2022. And these results reflect priority of driving operational efficiencies and also delivering good value to our clients. We also have a very deep leadership bench here at DCM. We've got extensive experience in print and marketing and communications and digital. And we've got experience in doing M&A transactions, large and small. Personally, I've been responsible for several, 5 or 6 very large transactions in my prior roles. So we have great experience in M&A, both as a leadership team as well as an entire company. We've also proven that we can reduce debt quickly. We've got great cash flows from our business. You saw on the slide earlier that in 2022 versus 21, we reduced that by 35%. Actually, in the last 2 years or 3 years, we reduced it by 55%. And we remain committed to targeting a less than 1% debt to EBITDA. And again, with the cash flows we deliver, that's certainly a very achievable objective. And again, we've proven that over the last few years. Then from an acquisition perspective, as I said earlier, we've done 5 deals very successfully here at DCM that we've integrated over the last 10 years. That's certainly created value to our business. And then we'll be partnering with Boston Consulting Group. We actually work with Boston Consulting Group. I'm sure most listeners on the call understand that they're kind of best in class and world class in merger integration and due diligence. Boston Consulting Group helped us through the entire due diligence process, and will help us through the post-merger integration process as well, the pre- and post-merger integration process. I personally have a lot of experience working with Boston Consulting Group, and the team that we're working with is a team that I've worked with several times in the past. So we're very comfortable that we will deliver the targets that we've set up to deliver. Okay? So certainly a proven track record. So we are very excited about this acquisition, about the announcement we made last night, and we strongly believe that we will build a better and bigger business together. Now I'm just going to pull my glasses on here, so I want to read this clearly. So thank you for joining our call this morning. And over the next several weeks, our focus will remain on running DCM as a separate and competing business. Really important to understand. While the Competition Bureau reviews this acquisition, right? We've got a process we got to go through with the Competition Bureau. We will remain separate companies as that Competition Bureau reviews the filing. We expect the transaction to close during the second quarter, and then to begin our merger integration planning thereafter. And as this work proceeds, we'll be in a better position to provide.
Okay. So, I think in this video here, they are announcing the completion of that process, because that video was from just like 11 months ago. So yeah, so I think I do have a much better sense of what they're thinking, how the CEO is thinking about and where the organization is headed. One of the things that he brought up was, where did that go? Slide. So of course, one is just showing how, this acquisition would play. But I think one thing that was more important for me, again, just focusing on what's relevant, prioritizing stuff. So let's keep going. No, not that slide. I'm just trying to get to the right slide here. I think it was the opportunity slide. Yes, this one. So I think this one's also really, I'm going to capture this because this is where they're headed, right? So that's the high level. Let's copy that over. 1. Okay. So if that's the market that they're trying to capture, then that's what we got to keep in mind. Yeah. Okay. let's go back. And then another thing I think that was just helpful kind of is just looking at these two organizations together. They also talked about how they're going to finance some of this acquisition by selling off some of the real estate. And then the focus on controlling the debt, which is probably very expensive in today's environment. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind. Sure, cool, got it. Gotcha, buddy. I got it. Okay, let's just shrink this down for a second. And then I'm going to move this over just a little bit. Okay, there we go. So now go back. And just a quick recap is what we're trying to do is here is if I go, I think this is my mouse pointer. We're trying to focus on doing some of this research on what is data all about, where are they at today, where are they trying to go, what are the things that, dare I say this, what does what keeps you up at night? The most horrid and horrible question to ask someone. It's better to just look underneath the hood and just put together a bit of a hypothesis, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. Okay, so we've got quite a bit of information already. We know some of the acquisitions they're doing, some of the, like, they're letting go of their some of the real estate to make way for aligning with companies that have more synergy, and that's the RRD, and that gives them better coverage, and then they can go after that bigger market, which they were talking about. The Canadian marketing and advertising services market is. So wait a second, if I go here, if I go, so it's like he's literally saying that, hey, look, we're currently playing in this 18 billion box. Let's go play in that $68 billion box. And then even if we have a small piece of the pie, it's going to be a bigger pie in a nutshell. So again, I'm not trying to be a CFO or anything. I'm just trying to understand strategically where's this org and business trying to go. And so if that's the path that they're on, what do they want to, what would be the ideal thing to communicate, highlight, and in turn, what would that attract for them as a business? Okay, so that's that. And then if I jump back into this for a second. Okay, so I had to look at all that stuff. And then I think it'll be good to just now come back and let's take a look at what are some of the solutions, what are the success stories, and then also, one second, where did that page go? Okay, so I want to actually first just look at the home page itself. So let's jump back into that. So this is the current website. We make marketing and communication workflows work better. Again, they're trying to go for this box here, right? So if we focus on, let's just zoom into this, Command plus. This is where if this is the goal, right? Like clearly, if we look at this, this is what the website used to look like, and this is what they were communicating at that point, right? This website from 2016 reflects this bottom dark blue box of commercial printing, warehouse, logistics. That's where they were. That's where I joined them when I was working with them. And now he's saying, hey, that's great. Let's continue that path, but let's focus on this bigger picture here, the marketing and advertising services business. Now, if that's the goal, then that's where they're headed. Then this is where that new website is. So now they're saying marketing and communication workflows. They're not talking about print at all, right? But okay, so let's keep peeling away the layers. So now we have an understanding from business strategy perspective, where they're trying to focus on, where they're trying to go, and then why are they communicating what they're communicating, right? Again, we're building a hypothesis based on the intelligence that we're gathering on this. Okay, but let's take a review of the site now and see where they're at, what they're trying to do. So okay, where market, I already talked about this part, and they got their whole bunch of logos. I'm not going to comment on the design just as yet. We'll do that at a later stage. For now, we're just going to look at this more from an intelligence gathering perspective. So decades of experience serving your industry. View all industries. So up until this point of this site, I have no idea what they, like if I was a net new person, I wouldn't necessarily know what it is that they do. And just because I know that we just went through the whole exercise of knowing that, for example, that on the back end, this is what they're building, right? The solution portfolio. Now that's not coming at all across here, and that's okay. This is what we're going to help figure out and solve. Okay, so, and then let's go into this. Okay, so these are the industries that we're serving. Streamlining, learn more. Okay. So then again, just like in a consulting firm, you have like industry specific leads, right? And then you could also have solution specific leads. But okay, let's take a look here. So far they're saying blah, 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 and then serving all these different industries, and then adding value, reducing complexity for learning. See, again, this is just like marketing and jargon speak. It doesn't tell me what you do. Adding value, reduce complexity, solution, simplify process, centralize information, improve efficiency, guarantee compliance, and ultimately, okay, it doesn't say much at all, actually. Solutions that make your business smarter. Okay, how? This is actually much better. Workflow management, simplify, okay. Digital asset management, again, Assemble. That's one of the things that they have as part of their solution stack. Assemble back here that I was looking at. Let's keep going. Print, that was always their core service. Workflow, digital assets management, marketing strategy, and creative services. Ooh, that's another thing that that they would do, is that, you know, even if, let's say, a client came to them and said, hey, could you send out, we need to do like a sampling activity, or we need to send out these flyers, whatever. So they would even design it for them. I don't know if they actually ended up charging for that, or they baked that cost of creative services into the final print. But let's keep going. Solving problems, share insights. Solving problems, share insight, driving success. So there's a lot of platitudes, you know, adding value, reducing complexity. And those words are great, but when they're clubbed with something that is simple to understand. So, okay, no worries at all. We're making life easier for national tech. So this is beginning to get somewhat interesting, where they're kind of speaking to, okay, I think I might have some sense of what they might do, but we've helped the tier 1 bank achieve marketing simplicity. Okay, we should read some of these in a second. Print relief, promotion. Okay. So there's technically only these two, I would say, case studies that remotely speak to communicating what it is they actually do. But let's get into it. We're making life easier for national tech retailers marketing team. Okay, now that's a line, a piece of language that is simple. Simple is helping our client benefit from powerful DAM features like version control. And now DAM is probably like another proprietary term that nobody understands outside of DCM. And then version control and on-the-fly editing plus DCM's end-to-end support. Okay, with over 4,000. Okay, so here, this is actually like a case study. I really like to look at any business from the lens of their success stories and customer stories, because those are the words that customers use to describe the solution versus, you know, the service provider. Okay, but let's read this. With over 4,000 locations across Canada, our client was producing a wide range of marketing materials, flyers, pop, web assets, social, digital, blah, blah, EDMs, using an unsupported software system. It offered little automation, no assurance of consistency across different media, and no central pricing. The retailer recognized the need for a single interface that would let users create, produce, price validate, and traffic all promotions all in one place. Assemble is that solution. Okay. So that's the challenge. I don't know why they had to mention the solution in this spot. Okay. And then again, the copy is sort of disjointed because now we just spoke about the challenge, but then now we're getting at the solution. This is where you would talk about Assemble, but I wouldn't even necessarily talk about Assemble. It was like, I would talk about the pain point that are being solved and then introduce a solution, but okay. Simplifies marketing for, okay, let's zoom into this. The copy is not even legible here. Zoom in. Okay. Assemble simplifies marketing workflows by centralizing and automating the management of digital assets from documents and photos to artwork and videos. Assets can be uploaded, created, edited, and distributed. They're securely stored. Metadata for fast searching built in. Version control. Previous campaigns are easy to retrieve. On the way release sets Assemble apart from is end-to-end support. Includes full implementation, training, and ongoing services. So companies can easily overcome two of the biggest challenges of transition to a DAM solution. Oh, it's probably like data access management or something. DAM is probably, yeah. Okay, Mr. ChatGPT, what is DAM in marketing world? Just confirming, I think data access management or something. Oh, digital asset management. Okay, cool. Done. Nowhere on this page does it say DAM as digital assets management. I think it would be helpful to have simple language that normal people can understand. And that is, simple language is probably the best inclusive strategy on the planet. Okay. So, okay, what does, okay, cool. Impact, enhance customer experience through easier personalization, improve local market relevance through built-in versioning, increase speed. I would have loved to see on this page maybe a testimonial video or a quote from an actual client. And yeah, it doesn't tell me much about what's going on. Like from a sales perspective, doesn't do much because it's like the so what. And then from a marketing perspective, it's not really simple. It's not really communicating what the actual really cool, awesome thing that they're doing, that's where the opportunity is here to make a really cool design intervention. And then let's go back. Let's read the other case study. We've helped a tier 1 bank achieve market. Yeah, because a lot of the stuff is just platitudes and just jargon, which makes no sense. And it's like you're not meeting the reader where they are. Okay, let's read this one, see what this is about. The tier 1 achieve marketing simplicity. This doesn't, again, say much at all. It's just, okay, cool, good for you. As a large financial institution with complex marketing processes across various lines of business, our client was using multiple platforms to execute campaigns. Each campaign took several weeks to build with creative updates required. The whole needed extensive manual intervention and was expensive to maintain. Okay, cool. This actually reads really well. And then solution, DCM Flex has transformed our clients from the platform simpler automated workflows, easily access brand specific collaterals, create their own marketing templates. Again, I would have loved to see like an actual client testimonial. Maybe they can't share the actual client. Maybe that's what's going on because they're NDAs and, they don't want to publicly share what client it is and blah, blah, blah. So that's probably what's going on. But it would have nice to see here, even on this page, words of the client or words that a client would use. And then also speaking more to not only just the immediate solution and the immediate benefits, but also the outcomes and impact created. So that's also a big missing piece on some of these client success stories. But let's see if there's other success stories here on their page that cover any of this. Okay. Okay, this is very different. See our solutions in action. Again, seller focus, instead of saying see our solution in action, I'd be like, look at the outcomes for the client, right? Again, I would want orientation of the communication would be fun to do, but let's just read one or two examples. Okay. Automating workflows. Well, so we've helped a national logistics and transport provider transform its operations. Okay, let's read it, see what they're saying. Yeah, again, just the way the copy is written about we did this, I did this, we did this. And I would definitely want to change this when we get into the design phase, but let's just go through it. Okay, we've helped the national logistics transfer. Okay, so simplify complexity. Okay. So again, just starting to sell the solution right away. Don't need to do that at all. Okay, just trying to hard sell and just, okay, typical textbook agency world speak. Managing billions of deliveries a year from one end of Canada to the So, okay, let's just read this. Managing billions of deliveries a year from one end of Canada to the other involves massive logistical support and many layers of communication. Of course, yep. Waybills, barcode labels, envelopes, door knockers, a dizzying array of forms. The volume and complexity are daunting, and DCM's partnership, along with platforms like DCM Flex, has been crucial in not just maintaining daily operations, but also proofing our clients' communication infrastructure. Okay. Okay. Through dedicated on-site account resources, we collaborated with organizations for more than 2 decades to steadily consolidate and streamline their communication, initially working with clunky manual. So there's some really good copy in here, but again, I would just want to change the orientation altogether. We just transfer their workflows. We've also consulted closely with our client to redesign many of the forms and the underpin core operations. Digital ecosystem. Okay. And drove millions of dollars in cost savings. Impact evolved from a paper-based requisition process to an online. Improved operational efficiency, that engineering because all the traditional forms continue to process. Yeah, I think there's definitely room for improvement on all of these fronts. How we could tell that story, the success story. Okay, cool. That's pretty good. I think I have a sense of how they're looking at it. Leadership, news and insights, diversity, ESG, life at DCM, locations. Okay, locations. What locations do they have? Yep, that's the one that I was at. Torbram. And then, of course, it's all these locations plus the Donnelly acquisition. And surprisingly simple. So this line, surprisingly simple, is just like a underneath the logo. It's definitely, I would love to see that philosophy bleeding through everything that they're doing, which is not coming across. Like nothing about this homepage is surprisingly simple. Although the line has a lot of potential, surprisingly simple from and even the ones that they're using internally, like better together. So there is a lot of opportunity here, and that's what I want to explore, and that's what gets me excited about looking at this stuff is that, hey, this is great till this point in time, but how can we take this where we are at today and give it like an extreme makeover from every single lens, from how the business communicates to the brand to design. And so we're going to keep continuing doing that. So, okay, so let me just jump back in here for a quick hot second. So for today, we just did some initial work on this part. And then tomorrow's session, or in the next session, what we'll do is we'll focus on now looking at the competitive landscape, doing some benchmark activities, and then look at some cross-category examples of how other people within this space show up, right? We might also revisit some of the other elements within discovery. But yeah, I think this was a super fun session on just looking behind the kimono of data communications management, datacm.com. I kind of like the name data better, but again, that's just, and I have a strategic reason for that as well. But versus like an acronym like DCM, or you could say like, there's BCG or other famous acronyms. But interesting, this was fun. I learned a lot about what they're trying to do. And I think in the next session, we'll dive into looking at the competitive landscape. And yeah, this was fun. I will see you guys and folks in the next session. Have a great weekend.